OAFCCD is a provincial organization that was founded by parents and professionals concerned about the lack of understanding of the impact of a communication disorder. OAFCCD is the voice for children, often children that do not have a voice of their own. OAFCCD helps families in 4 ways. Firstly, we provide information on the speech and language service system. That is, where speech and language services are provided and who's eligible. Secondly, we provide information on communication impairments. OAFCCD relies on the professionals that are part of our organization to make sure that the information that we provide is accurate, and we have a number of fact sheets on different kinds of disorders. Thirdly, OAFCCD provides information to parents on how they can help their child at home. For some children, they may only be getting a block treatment and there may be gaps in their service. There are lots of things that parents can do to help their child at home. The fourth way we help families is helping them to understand how to advocate effectively. This DVD demonstrates how parent engagement supports success at school. In the DVD, speech-language pathologists are talking about how they work with parents and the things that parents can do to support their child's success. In addition, the DVD includes lots of information and comments from parents who've experienced the speech and language system, parents who are talking about the things that helped, the things that were challenges, and about their individual experiences. The DVD includes some great success stories. There's an interview with Quinn, who is now in grade 7, but who was unable to be understood when he started school. There's also the story of Croft, a student who has graduated from high school and is now attending college. The third story that is featured in the DVD is that of Stephanie. Stephanie has a language impairment and she's now in grade 10. All 3 of these individuals are talking about some of the pieces that were important in their progress and stand as examples to the benefits of speech and language services.
Disorders of speech and language fall into those 2 groups, speech and language. We talk about articulation disorders, and those are difficulties in saying your sounds correctly, and that can happen at any time during the lifespan, and it occurs at about 3 to 10% with a decline in that prevalence over the lifespan. We also have fluency disorders that occur at about 3%, and that's what you would call stuttering or stammering. And that can also occur across the lifespan, so we provide service at all ages. We also have voice disorders. Those occur at 2 to 3%. Speech production is making up the sounds and words and sentences to communicate with people. Language is the words, the sentences, and the text that you produce, as well as all the nonverbal and social information that you pass to other people. This information, for the most part, is verbal, but nonverbal information is also very important. For example, if I do this, you might think I look confused, or if I do this, you might think I'm surprised. So the nonverbals are as powerful as the verbal. But when I talk about language, I'm talking about both the verbal and the nonverbal. They can be called language disordered or language impaired, but also the term language learning disabled is used, as well as specific language impairment. This is a difficulty in those abstracted, unknown, unconscious rules that we have about language. And I should give you some example of how unconscious these rules are. Now, these rules you don't learn directly. So if your child says the cat runned down the street, you will realize that they made a mistake. They didn't realize that run was an irregular verb. So they are adding ed just as they do to other words. And as a mother, you wouldn't say to the child, no, run is an irregular verb. What you have to do is shift the vowel. You would just say, yes, the cat ran down the street. You give a model, and gradually the child will hypothesize about that rules are different for different words. And this is the way we learn language, without direct instruction, Rarely do you get direct instruction until you enter school. There are two kinds of language areas that we talk about that are important. One is comprehending, or called receptive language, and the other is expressing yourself, saying something. Both of those areas can be disrupted individually in children with language impairments, or they can both be disrupted, such that children have difficulty comprehending as well as expressing themselves. Often we will see that language impaired children have difficulty with the social communication rules. They don't seem to follow a logical topic. They have difficulty starting and staying in a conversation. As preschoolers, they may have difficulty joining in play with other children. They don't know what to say. They don't talk on topic. Adults may think, well, they've been poorly raised. They aren't polite, when really they don't know the rules. We have primarily talked about oral language at this point. However, reading and writing are also a language skill. They just happen to come through the eyes. And instead of sounds, we have chicken scratches we call letters that represent those sounds. So we know that speaking, listening, reading, writing, and socializing are all part of the language skills. And although it's harder to see, often people don't realize that reading and writing is a language skill. We know that it's very predictive of reading problems if you have an oral language problem. And we know that these are connected theoretically as well as biologically. The good news is that language intervention has been scientifically proven repeatedly to improve learning and social outcomes for children with language impairments.